that's just it. I don't need to see it. You know, I don't need to seek out people that I don't agree with to create content. I don't need to run around insulting people, picking apart their profile photos. I don't need to allude to their internet search history or hard drive content. I don't have to infer their mental health status or whether or not they might be drinking and driving to make my point. I can do that as a statement of fact. I don't need to own the libs or have an aha got you moment, and I certainly don't need to imply to my following to go harass smaller creators for shits and giggles. And while social media following and power does not equate to real life power, I'm proud of my small following because I've gained it through genuine authenticity. You know, I've only been on this app since maybe mid-March, and being able to hold myself accountable has got me really far. And while I'm not perfect, I have been known to clap back to people being disingenuous. And I certainly don't need to go around dehumanizing others to feel morally superior. I can do that by considering fact, statistics, and precedent and drawing a logical conclusion while still respecting others. And I certainly don't feel the need to draw any sort of proximity to wealth or knowledge by subscribing to a political party, especially one that counts on poor media literacy and low emotional maturity in order to incite fear with a false narrative to control. And when someone understands the structures and function of the brain as it pertains to being an emotional thought and how that affects your logical thinking, one can begin to see how these political parties do this. In fact, we know that religious fanaticism actually rewires the brain to bypass critical thinking skills and survival instincts. So this whole Democrat versus Republican is really just a way to pit us against each other so that the ruling elites can continue to subjugate us, us that aren't millionaires and billionaires, as they have since the inception of this country. And if you came to one of my lives, you would learn that. The ruling elite have always used the government to protect their interests. So while you're celebrating some potential coming appeals court decision to deploy National Guard to a city that is not needed to waste our tax dollars, just know that all of these people will be held accountable. So while I continue to assert my privilege to advocate for the underprivileged and marginalized, I continue to do work within my community. I ask you, what are you doing within your community to exact positive change? Furthermore, check out Portland yesterday. It's so war-torn. As you can see here, it is just so war-torn. And if you go to one of Amy's lives where she's regularly in front of the ICE detention center as one of all of 10 people that are there on a regular basis, you will see that there's no need to deploy National Guard. This was the most people that have ever been in front of that facility. And there was also a marathon being ran that day. As you can see, they are quite peaceful. And as you will see, tear gas is deployed on peaceful protesters. There may be 100 people there total. But it's war-torn enough for our tax dollars to be wasted for National fucking Guard deployment. Yeah, see how warranted that was? They were so unruly, weren't they?